What's up, banana bunch? Bunch? Bunch?
Welcome to the Junglejims podcast. What's up, Banana Punch? You know what time it is. It's time for another episode of the Junglejims podcast. I'm your host, Mark. I almost said home because I was about to say welcome to my home, but we're already there. Welcome to my home. If you've seen the TikToks and the shorts, you knew that last week I was set to speak at the Flyover Conference, and just before I was going to do that, I ended up falling down some stairs at the venue and breaking my ankle and my foot. Very cool. Minus the cool. I've been kind of trapped at home. It has not been amazing. I know you all saw last week we didn't even put out an episode. It's pretty bad. It's getting slowly better, which is good news. I don't know, they're quoting me like almost 2 months full recovery. It's not thrilling, but you know what? We'll get through it together. So let's dive into a couple things that are important. First off, we've got crazy sales going on this week in the store, especially for the 4th of July. Our 3-day sales that we do, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, there's some crazy stuff on there. I saw, this is funny, I keep thinking about this because it's been all over the internet this week, but we actually have a really great sale on Arizona teas, which are priced at max at 99 cents, right? Like, and if you ever see anyone selling it over that, you apparently can report them to Arizona. But we have them on sale for 69 cents this week. That was really cool. I know we're doing mix and match on sodas where you can buy 2, get 3, 12 packs free. That's cool. Deals on steaks, hot dogs, hot dog buns, all that kind of stuff. But what I would tell you to do is plan your trip now and get the Junglejims app. It's on iPhone, it's on Android. You can check all that stuff out. You can watch podcasts on there. There are app exclusive deals too, so you can just scan those at the actual checkout and get extra deals. It's very cool. And then you can watch people who don't have the app around you have to pay more. It's kind of fun. And hopefully you don't have that kind of antagonistic relationship with everyone, but if you do, let me facilitate it a little bit. Cool. Well, this week is really fun. This was an interview I did very recently, actually, but I learned a lot. I thought you all would really enjoy this. It's about a new product that came into the store. It's over in the Urban Jungle. You can find it at both Eastgate and Fairfield. The brand is called Honey Sweetie Acres, but they make all kinds of stuff from soap, lotions, creams, you name it, all kinds of like skincare products and things in that range. But the products are really cool, and this interview was fascinating. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but one of my favorite things is just learning new things. And when that sounds simple, but there was so much information around all of the goats that were being raised by Honey Sweetie Acres to make this product. I just dove in. I was like, all right, we're going to learn everything we can about goats. So let's find out about goat milk. Let's learn about raw milks. Let's learn about all this stuff. And let's take a little trip to, well, hopefully we'll do this soon in the future. And you'll see this too, because we're going to go on site and meet some of the goats for the show one day. But since I can't do it for the next few months, that's why I'm airing this earlier than anticipated. But you're going to love this episode. I learned a lot. I always love when we have those kinds of episodes. You learn things in the most unexpected places. So in the meantime, here we go. Let's dive in. Honey Sweetie Acres.
Hi, Regina. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Why don't you tell us who you are? Why are you here right now?
Okay. My name is Regina Bauscher, and I own Honey Sweetie Acres with my family, with my husband. We are a goat milk soap and lotion producer. We've been in business about 15 years.
Cool.
And we raise dairy goats on our farm, and we make soap from their milk.
That's amazing. What were you doing before you were doing this, or have you always been farming?
No, actually, I was an investor relations associate for Ashland Incorporated.
Oh, wow.
And working with the stock market and investor meetings in New York and that type of thing. And my education I have in chemistry, and so that was one of the reasons I was in that role.
Makes sense.
But as my husband had a skin condition, and I kept making our skincare products cleaner and more overall friendly to the skin with my knowledge. And we had goats because we wanted goat milk. And I knew that there was such a thing as goat milk soap. So I made soap for my husband. And in about 30 days, we cleared his skin.
Wow.
And we were thinking, gee, this is something that people need. So we made it for family and friends, and everybody said, well, you really need to sell this. And we joked about it. We joked that it'd be a farmer's market gig for us in our retirement.
Right.
But we put this soap out there, and it took off, and the business grew to the point that I resigned my position, came to work on it full time. My husband did as well. And we've both been in it full time for now about 10 years.
That's amazing. It's got to be a pretty dramatic switch from like that lifestyle, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I had never been self-employed. I had always been a W-2, so it was
Right.
very nerve-wracking the day I resigned. But,
I'm sure.
It was the best move I ever made.
I love hearing that, and that's such a common sentence I hear on the show from people like yourself, where it's always something like that. They're like, I was doing the corporate rat race, and then one day I was just like, why don't I actually race rats, right? You know, that's incredible. You know, when I started diving into your site to do a little research and learn more about the products, obviously they're now at both Jungle Gym stores. What's the why behind goats in particular? Like, why did you want goat milk specifically to make this?
Well, goat milk has a different form of lactose in it, so it's very easily digestible. It's also, we believe in raw milk, not pasteurized. And there's a lot of people trying to villainize raw milk.
Yeah.
And it comes from the history of it. Back 60, 70 years ago, raw milk wasn't sourced like it is today.
Okay.
And they even put bluing in it to turn it white rather than let it be its natural yellow.
Sure.
And people became ill. And they also didn't use the sanitary methods that we use today.
Sure.
So the secret behind having clean, safe raw milk is cleanliness and sourcing it, quality feed, health of the animal, and then flash chilling the milk to get it cold so that bacteria doesn't develop.
Amazing.
And if you take care of it properly, raw milk is very high in nutrition. It has the calcium in an unadulterated format. The high temperature of pasteurization changes milk. Yes, it kills every bacteria known to man.
Of course.
Okay, but it ties up the calcium so it's not in as an absorbable form.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
yeah, if people want more information on raw milk, they can go to the Weston A. Price Foundation, where there's tons of research on the benefits of raw milk and why it is better for the human body.
That's cool. I've seen a little of the debates, and I've been very curious, and it was one of those things that I was like, I knew, obviously, I was just like, I need to find an actual expert rather than people just screaming on social media about it. And I was like, that hasn't worked out great, I don't think, for us as a people.
Right.
So that's really interesting. I don't think I've ever actually tried raw milk. I mean, in that regard, and I know that's not what the point of this is, but I have to ask, is the flavor dramatically different than what you'd expect from like what you'd buy in a grocery store?
I wouldn't say the flavor necessarily is. Now, there's a wide, whether you're talking cow milk or goat milk, it's more the nutritional aspect and the way it reacts with the body.
Interesting.
And the lactose level in it. For people who are lactose intolerant, for example, can drink goat milk where they can't drink cow milk because it's a different casein.
Oh, okay.
So it's just different for people.
I love that. Cool. See, I knew I was going to learn something today already. I figured I was like, look at all the education out of the beginning.
But we use raw milk in our products. We do not use pasteurized milk. Our soap is meant to be as close to nature as possible. So we use organic ingredients when and where we can. We use unadulterated essential oils. If we use any fragrance oils at all, they have to be proven phthalate-free, paraben-free, acrylate-free, formaldehyde-free. And we don't offer a lot of them. We have about 6 or 7 fragrances that actually pass our quality control.
Wow.
But I am a certified aromatherapist.
Oh.
And I have certifications in essential oil safety and in skin anatomy and function.
Wow.
So we felt that was necessary. If we were going to make a product for the skin and have it actually improve the skin, we needed to understand the relationship between the ingredients and the cellular structure of the skin. And how is it going to affect a person? So we spent a year in the development of the soap, just experimenting, testing, before we ever put it on the market. And that has paid off.
Yeah.
So,
That's it. Okay. I always laugh when I have, like, depending on the product, right? I'm always thinking, like, okay, this is it. I'm so fascinated by you already. I love that you are the right, like, scientist for this job. Oh my gosh. You said the expression aromatherapist. Mm-hmm. What exactly is that?
An aromatherapist is someone who has studied essential oils, the chemistry of essential oils, to understand their constituents. Okay. They are from a plant. Mm-hmm. They are Mother Nature's chemicals. And a lot of people are crazy about essential oils, and they are marvelous, but they do have to be managed because, as I said, they're Mother Nature's chemical.
Right.
And Mother Nature creates some of the most virulent poisons in the world.
Right.
So to just assume that it comes from a plant that it's good is a poor assumption. Because essential oils, if you use them in too strong a concentration, they can actually cause a skin reaction. So an aromatherapist is someone who understands the chemistry behind the oil, where it should and should not be used, what oils can it blend with so that those constituents aren't, say, too high in one oil versus another blend. You know, it's an understanding from a chemical point,
right,
what's in it, and what can it be used for, and how can it be safely used.
I love that. And it's funny now, as you started saying that, my first thoughts were, wow, you're right. So many people do just go, oh, it's from the planet. It should be good.
It should
I'm
be
like,
safe.
Well, yeah, exactly. I was like,
not
oh, that's
necessarily.
actually right. It's amazing what adding a little thought to your behaviors can do.
Well, I'll give you a really good story.
Yeah.
Margaritas. Okay, we use oranges and lemons and limes in margaritas.
Right.
If you and you're cutting the fruits, and there are essential oils in the skins of those fruits. Right. If you do not wash your hands and you go into the sunlight, within a few hours, your hands are going to blister. Okay,
right.
It's considered a condition from making margaritas, and if you can Google all kinds of horrible pictures about it, but it's the effect of the essential oils on the skin and their reaction with the sunlight, with the ultraviolet rays in the sun. Whoa. So if you make margaritas, be sure you wash your hands before you go out in the sun.
I don't want to be a statistic.
But that's the power of essential oils.
Unbelievable. Oh, that's so crazy. I guess it's one of those things that I've definitely just taken for granted, right? It's like, oh, they smell nice, or you know what I mean? Oh, that's crazy. And you never really think about that stuff. Especially the margarita anecdote's great too. Well, I guess I'm just buying them pre-bottled now just to be safe. That is funny. I was, funny enough, I was trying to express I was making this orange ice cream recently, and I did notice that a little bit, but I didn't think anything of it, and I was staying mostly inside, but I remember thinking, I'm like, oh, I should probably wash this off. But I was also so locked in with how good the fresh orange oil smelled.
Yes.
It turns out I'm a little dumb. That's my secret to the audience.
They do smell wonderful.
Right, exactly. Oh, that's so good. And we first started talking about you using goat milk specifically and you talked about the type of lactose that was in it. Is that integral to the quality of the soaps and products that you're making?
Not the lactose specifically, but lactose does contribute to lather. So this is back to our original premise. We wanted to make soap as clean and pure as possible. So rather than using lather additives, we rely on the high sugar content of the milk to boost the lather. Okay.
Yeah.
We pick organic. Well, soap is made out of fat, right? And you use a reagent, which is lye, sodium hydroxide.
Right.
You combine the sodium hydroxide with the goat milk. The goat milk is the carrier for the lye.
Okay.
You combine that with the oils, which are truly the structural part of your soap.
Okay.
So when you combine those two together, you get a chemical reaction. And to make it simple for people, think of the Pac-Man coming along and eating your fat molecules and pumping out soap.
Yeah,
okay?
Oh, I love it.
That's how soap is made.
Oh, interesting.
And originally it was from beef tallow, and
Right.
After slaughter they would mix it and they would have a soap. But that soap was for everything. People used it for their clothes, for washing the floor, for washing their dishes. It was an all-purpose thing.
Sure.
And it wasn't particularly gentle. It wasn't really designed for the skin. It was designed to clean and clean only.
Oh.
So it was very harsh.
Right.
Right. And that was what got the name the old-fashioned lye soap.
Right.
Well, all soap is made with lye, unless it has been pre-formulated in a base. But even to do that, they had to use lye at some point.
Right.
So you cannot make soap without lye.
Interesting.
But lye is now food grade. Years ago, what
Really?
you would use to put down your pipes to release your grease clog, that was commercial lye, but it wasn't highly purified. The lye that's used today is purified, and it's also used in the formation of food products.
Interesting.
Pretzels.
Oh.
Lutefisk.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay.
I think black olives too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Hominy.
Yeah.
All of those things are made using food grade lye.
Huh.
So we use food grade lye in soap to put the fats with the lye to create the soap. And so it's a cleaner form of lye.
Okay.
Okay. The key is in knowing how much lye does it take to convert so many pounds or grams or ounces of oil, fat, into soap. So those are calculations, and there's calculations that we also determine, well, how hard will the bar be? How moisturizing will it be? How much lather will you get? How creamy will it be? Will it react with people who have very sensitive skin?
Sure.
So all of these things go into the calculation when we make the soap. And we have approximately 30 different scents. We have 6 scents of unscented, so those are our most pure. They're also EWG verified, Environmental Working Group.
Oh, okay.
We submitted those soaps for analysis, and they come back and they score us from a 1 to 10, saying how safe is this soap.
Amazing.
1 being the best, 10 being, you don't want to use it on your skin.
Back to formula.
we always have a number 1 on all of our soaps, and we carry the EWG logo, which is something you have to qualify for.
That's so cool. The whole time you're saying this, I'm just thinking like, you have to have the most interesting R&D process. You know what I mean?
Well, a lot of work went into this, as I said when we started. We spent a year figuring out what were we going to offer, what scents were we going to offer, what essential oils would go together, which ones would not, to keep the soap as safe for people who are sensitive. Because there is a plethora of people who can't handle any scent, can't handle
Right.
A variety of soaps will set them off. And that's what's happening in the commercial soap industry, because most of commercial soap is made with a high degree of sodium. And sodium is very drying. It pulls the moisture out of your skin. It cleans marvelously.
Sure.
And that's what most people are used to. And they're used to that drawn feeling, okay, that what we used to call squeaky clean.
Right.
It would feel drawn. Well, that's actually, it's removed the oils from your skin. Oh. Your skin is actually dry and taut. So we don't want that to happen. So we formulate them so that there's a high degree of fat. And we also, that goes back to the milk we use. We use milk from Nigerian dwarf goats who have a minimum of 6% butterfat, but can go as high as 12, depending upon the time of year.
Oh, okay.
So think of whole cow milk as, this is 3 to 4 times the fat that's in whole cow milk. So it's very, very creamy.
Yeah, I bet.
So that's the reason we chose this breed of goat. This breed of goat also, in their raw milk, like we were talking about, the raw milk does not have that goaty tang.
Okay.
If you had goat cheese,
yes,
and there's a little bit of a tang
a little
there.
funk on it, yeah.
Okay. Well, that is in the milk of some of the larger breeds of goats because their butterfat's only 2 to 3%.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So the bigger the goat, the lower the butterfat.
Interesting.
Okay?
Yeah.
One other breed has a higher butterfat. That's Nubians. Nubians are right around 5%. But that's what went into the decision of what breed of goat are we going to use for this. And that's why we chose Nigerians, because of their very, very high butterfat or cream content. So that contributes to the power of the soap. And then in addition, our ingredients, we use 5 oils and 2 butters, coconut oil, castor oil, olive oil are some of the things, a very high oleic acid safflower oil. So we ran the tests, we ran the numbers, and the blend that we have put together really does help people's skin. It really transforms it.
So now the whole time, this is the weirdest thing I'm going to say to you today, I think. But the whole time I'm just feeling, all I can think about is like, I'm very looking forward to my next shower.
You should.
I'm so curious because, you know, as soon as you started talking about the tautness, I feel like it's gotten slightly better over the years. But I remember that being a big thing when I was like younger, where it was like, you wanted that. And now everybody's got dry skin and running into those issues, and it has to start somewhere. And I feel pretty confident it's probably in mass soap, right?
Right. It's in the mass production, because in mass production, they cook the soap.
Right.
All right. And so that's to drive off the water to make the bar harder.
Mm-hmm.
But the salt content is for cleaning, but it's also for preserving, because commercial bars go all over the world and need to last a very long time. They need to be very, very hard. And that high content of sodium does that. And if you read the ingredients on a commercial bar of soap, count the number of times you see the word sodium, and you're going to see it 5 or 6 times.
I bet.
All right, there's different forms. All right, sodium cocoate, sodium palmitate, sodium hydroxide, which is the lye that should be there.
Right.
But that's really the only added salt that you need. Ours is all commercial soap is what we call hot process. It's
Okay.
been cooked, all right, to drive off the water. In goat milk, you can't do that because you would burn the
Like
sugars
the sugar, the fat, right? Yeah.
that are in the milk. So we have to
Interesting.
do cold process. So it's a lot like creating cheese.
Okay.
After we make the soap, we cut it into bars, and then it goes into a dehumidified room for 30 to 45 days. And at that point, we hardness test it
Okay.
to see if we have pulled enough water out of it for it to last in the shower.
Sure.
Natural soaps have gotten a bad rap from the number of people who've made them in their kitchens and ran out to a festival or a farmer's market and sold them.
Right.
And then the soap melted away in the shower, and people believe natural soap doesn't last.
Right.
Right? You have to go through the process, know your soap, and know how long it takes to cure it to the point that it won't wash away. And I get comments from people all the time, wow, your soap lasts. It doesn't wash away. Well, it's because we test it. We test the hardness. And if it doesn't meet the meter at 30 or 45 days, it stays in the curing room until it does.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But we've formulated it enough and done this for so many years. That's right about the point of where it comes out. Now, some soaps take a little longer to cure. We have a facial soap that is made with real avocado. We put real avocado puree into the soap.
Oh, cool.
Okay, that soap takes a little bit longer to cure because of that. But we monitor it, we keep our records, and once it passes, then it's released to the market.
What's the why of the avocado in the facial soap?
Avocado is the fattiest fruit out there. It also has, the avocado oil is very nutritive. It's nutritive dense, all right? So when people use it on their face, which back to the dryness and the drawn
Yeah.
again, people are like, I don't want soap on my face.
Right.
It's how the soap is made. All right, so all of that, the real puree combined with the goat milk, combined with the premium oils and butters, you get a soap that does not cause that drying, that actually is very nutritive for the skin, and the skin feels soft and well hydrated after you use it.
That's amazing. Yeah, it makes so much. And it's one of those, hearing you say it, I'm like, oh, this makes so much sense. But, I think part of the reason I was excited to have you on the show today is I was like, I don't think anybody thinks about this kind of thing. I know I definitely don't, so I imagine no one else does, right? But it's something that we probably should be focusing on a little bit more, especially in a world where we are both appearance and scent driven. We're like, I want to smell good, but also I'd like to look as good as possible for as long as possible. But that's a huge thing. I mean, it's silly as it sounds.
And the avocado soap, we do not add a scent to at all because your face should not receive perfume.
Yeah.
The skin of the face is completely different than the rest of the body, and it has to be handled differently.
Interesting. Oh, wow. Bodies
Well,
are weird.
As I said, we studied skin anatomy and function. We are not dermatologists.
Sure.
But we understand how the oils affect the skin. There's 6 different layers and how they function and what oils benefit that and what oils do not. We all have what's called a skin barrier function, all right? And that skin barrier is helped with lipids, with oils.
Right.
So we want to nourish that skin barrier so that it helps repel invaders. It helps it repel viruses and other things that cause like eczema and psoriasis. Right. The doorway for that stuff is extremely dry skin. So if we can keep our skin real hydrated and pliable and healthy with the lipids and with the moisture, we have healthier skin in general.
Makes sense. This is crazy. Now I'm like, I'm laughing. I'm sorry to laugh, but it's just, I say this all the time on the show. The show is definitely for the audience, but it's secretly also for me to learn about this too. I have to dive into the goats because I joked with you beforehand that I was hoping that maybe this is an easy way for me to get to meet a goat, which I think we might get to do. We'll see. We'll see what the episode looks like by release. Tell me a little bit about it, because you're raising them. I mean, this is the whole operation is like what would they call it? Like you control the entire vertical.
Mm-hmm. That's true. We know what goes into them, so we know what comes out of them.
Right.
Okay? And the other thing we can control is in our milk, there are no hormones. There's no antibiotics. If an animal is ill for any reason, that milk is removed from the supply that goes to the soap, right? That animal is taken care of until they're clear, and depending upon the medication needed, we know what that time frame is.
Sure.
And we do not put them back into the production line till we know that they're clear of that.
Love that.
So, but also in order to make a premium milk, they have to be on a premium diet.
Mm-hmm.
And they're fed very, very well, high protein, high fat, vitamins and minerals. The udders we milk twice a day, and the udders are examined for their health and their quality. They can get mastitis just like a nursing mother can.
Sure.
And we want to be sure and catch that. So they live a very pampered life.
Yeah, it sounds nice.
To produce the kind of milk that we want.
Right.
Okay. And the butterfat is affected by all that as well. So, I mean, they're fed organic kelp, black sunflower seeds, beet pulp. All of these things help produce a nutritious milk.
Unbelievable. Beet pulp, too. It's like, no, they're living it up. These are all the dietary things that I should be making in my own life. I don't have anybody raising me currently. What is, like, I mean, how do I ask this? Like, what is it like raising the animals, too? I mean, was that a new thing to you, or had you done that in the past and you came back to it?
Yeah, my husband and I both had grown up in the country.
Okay.
And he'd grown up with goats and chickens and rabbits. And I grew up with horses and a little bit of cattle early on. And when we got together, we had both been married and had kids and were on a second marriage, and we wanted to get back to how we grew up.
Sure.
So we sold out and moved to the country and got a couple goats just for our milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then it morphed into soap from there, and it wasn't something I started out planning to do, but it... You know, that happens to a lot of people.
Is the care of the goats, is that a pretty rigorous process, or?
Well, you have to be attentive.
Sure.
When a goat becomes ill, they can become ill fast and they can go down fast. So you need to know your herd. But I would say that about anybody who owns any animal.
Any animal, yeah.
You need to know your animal.
Right.
And so rigorous, it depends what you would call rigorous. I mean, we love it.
Yeah.
We love the care. We love the interaction with them. It is a big responsibility.
Sure.
So because we have to be there and milking twice a day, vacations don't happen too easily unless you have really trained farm help, which we're fortunate to have.
Awesome.
But yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of, it's our responsibility to take care of them because they are providing the product that is giving us the life we have. So we need to make sure that they get everything they need.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm so curious about just the whole farm setup in general and just watching this process.
You need to come out and see it.
Yeah, I think I really need to because I'm so fascinated.
We're proud of being transparent with the care of our animals. We are certified humane, which is a yearly inspection where we have them come to the farm and they look at everything from what we're feeding to the amount of space the animals have to what our medication protocol is, what we do in the case if an animal expires.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it, but this helps tell the public that we're serious about the care of these animals and we care about them and we want the best for them.
Yeah, because I feel like there is the occasional little fervor around like the potentially inhumane nature of this. But I mean, I don't know. I've been around enough animals in my day that I feel like I have never really run across that in person. Mm-hmm. So I'm really glad to hear.
I think most of it's tied to the big commercial farms.
Sure.
And the bigger you get, the harder it is to provide that individualized care.
Right.
But in our case, it's not that hard. And we have a partner farm, and our requirement for them was to become certified humane. It's in the brand that these animals get stellar care.
Right.
The dairy industry has had some bad press from that type of thing.
Right.
And we just want people to know that's your commercial farm. That's not your individualized business.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it makes so much sense too. Mm-hmm. I mean, again, like you said, at that scale, it feels like it would be almost impossible. So the fact that they're getting close is kind of impressive, actually.
Well, that's why it's easier for them to pasteurize the milk and not be worried about it.
Right. Exactly. Like just boil it until we're good to go, put it in the bottle and get it out to the stores. That makes sense. It's crazy. But I think we are seeing that shift, and I'm noticing it, especially here, where we're seeing that shift, I think, in the audience sense, where everyone's trying to be more cognizant of what they're both putting into their bodies, but also putting on their bodies, and becoming aware of like, oh, well, we should be getting our soap from local producers because of the individual care, because that's going to increase the quality of the product overall. And in a world of diminishing returns, I don't know. I think that's the move. That's why another reason I was happy to have you on here. I was like, this makes so much sense to me, you know? I meant to ask early on, but I got very excited when we started talking about the goats themselves. I told you I wasn't kidding. I was like, I am meeting a goat. just why don't we walk through the product line? Like, what are some of the scents we offer? I know it's bar soap. I'm trying to think of what exactly we carry here.
Okay, here there's, I believe, 20 cents of soap.
Okay.
4 cents of lotion. And then we have some aromatherapy creams made with essential oils. Those are the 4 there are Epi, which is for eczema and psoriasis, Joint, which is for arthritis.
Just broke something outside. That's always exciting. Never a dull moment at the jungle.
Sore muscle cream, and then a neuropathy cream. And these are made with the essential oils that are analgesics and pain relieving. And it depends upon the person's individual body chemistry if they work or not. There's no guarantee they work, but people have reported good reviews from them working, and that's all on the website too.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, when we were talking about the scents and obviously having some in, are there certain oils or scents that are easier to work with that hit, you know, the standards you're trying to make more commonly than other ones?
Well, our largest sellers are our unscented, but
Makes sense.
We have 6 different versions of unscented. The just pure unscented. Then we have honey oatmeal. We do not add the fake honey oatmeal fragrance. Charcoal.
Oh, cool.
Jewelweed. Jewelweed is a poison ivy remedy. Calendula.
What is that?
It's unscented. It's a floral. It's a flower that is known for anti-inflammatory properties.
Oh, cool.
And then our avocado facial, that one is unscented as well.
Makes sense.
So we have all those here. Or no, we don't have the jewelweed here. We have that in Eastgate.
Okay.
And then the lotions are lavender, which is made from lavender essential oil, a vanilla bean made with real vanilla, what's my other one? Cherry almond, which is always popular.
Yeah, that sounds
Smells
good.
like the old Jergens.
Yes.
And
Classic.
And then, of course, unscented as well. We have unscented in every product line that we have.
And that keeps it as pure as possible, too. Mm-hmm. So you're going in all the way raw.
Right.
Oh, that's amazing.
Right.
All right, so I guess I'm going to try them. Do you have a favorite either product in your lineup? Is it like picking your favorite kid?
Well, yeah, that's kind of hard to do, but I always say I like the tropical scents because I can close my eyes and pretend I'm on vacation.
That sounds good. I think we're about due for a vacation.
Yeah.
All right, where are we going? Where are we taking the goats? The kids, literally, in this case.
Well, we show the goats. We do compete with them.
Oh, do you really? What kind of goat? There's goat competitions?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's you've probably heard of the Westminster Dog Show.
Yeah.
Okay, and see that on TV where they show dogs. They lead them around. Well, goats are the same thing.
No kidding.
Except they also evaluate the udders.
Oh.
Okay. What kind of a milk producer is this girl? Is her udder configured properly? I mean, what is her body structure? And the whole idea is for an animal to be a long-term producer. Is she built to be a long-term producer?
Right.
And how does that figure in?
That's amazing.
And you can show young animals, you can show older producing animals, and we do both. We have 2 national champions, 1 reserve national champion.
That's amazing.
And
Congratulations.
We're going to the national show in July this year.
That's crazy. Where do they have the national show?
It moves all over the United
Okay.
States, but this year it's in Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, perfect. That's close by. Oh, my gosh. Is that open to the public?
Yes, of course.
Oh, my gosh.
It's
Well-
July 13th through the 19th.
I'm sorry. I am painfully excited about this. I have a feeling I might actually go to that. That sounds... I've always wanted to go to the dog show, too. I like
a
all
new
of the animal
world.
shows. Yeah, it sounds so cool, though, and like very unique and on
Yeah.
brand for what we're doing here. That's incredible. Gosh, I felt like I should have had a list of goat questions now, It would just ease in. That's what the future
We'll
of
save
it.
that for the farm.
That's right, for the follow-up episodes. That's awesome. I'll put my little break here. We're like at 32 minutes. Is there anything else that I haven't covered that you definitely want to cover on this one?
I just like to give consumers some information on how they can be cognizant of what they're buying in a soap.
Okay.
Particularly a goat milk soap.
Awesome.
If
Let me toss you a little setup for that.
Okay.
And then we can edit it in. When it comes to soap, is there something that you think that we as consumers should be aware of or at least thinking about when we're trying to purchase products like this?
Okay. In particular, if you're talking goat milk soap, there's a couple things. One, read the ingredients.
Okay.
Because if it says in a goat milk base, they have used powdered milk. Okay. That's not real milk.
Red flag.
Okay. Powdered milk has been heated to 400 degrees. So we know what heat does to vitamins and minerals,
Right.
and it denatures the skin-friendly enzymes. So you do not want an ingredient label that says in a goat milk base. Right? That's one. 2 would be some saponified oils.
Okay.
Instead of listing the oils or the fats that are in the bar, they'll say a compilation of saponified oils. They're not telling you specifically. And that's so that they can change their recipe without having to change their labels.
Yeah.
Right?
Interesting.
That's not a dedication to quality in my mind.
Right.
Okay. Another one would be, now not all soap brands do this, and it's for a variety of reasons. We do.
Mm-hmm.
There is a format to ingredients called the INCI, International Nomenclature of Cosmetic Ingredients. And that means that you put them on the list in order of precedence,
Okay.
but you also include the Latin name. For example, coconut oil is Cocos nuciferus, right? That would be on the label as well. Lavender essential oil, Lavandula angustifolia. Both those names should be on the label. Now, the FDA doesn't police this, but it is a desired requirement that your labels state all of this,
Right.
and ours do. And lastly, if you see goat milk as the very first ingredient, that's total deception. There's a belief, well, it's true that when you look at a food label, the first ingredient means that's the most of what's there.
Right.
In goat milk soap, that's physically impossible. They're doing that from a marketing point of view by saying that goat milk is the first ingredient.
Right.
Chemically, that's not possible because the fats are the structure. The milk is the carrier for the sodium hydroxide,
Right.
which is your reagent, which causes the reaction to happen.
Right.
It cannot be the primary ingredient or you would have mush.
Oh.
You will not have a hard, solid bar.
Right.
It's just not physically possible. But in the interest of trying to get customers, they will put goat milk as the first ingredient,
course.
and it simply isn't true.
And so is this just something that's not policed hard enough?
The
ultimately?
FDA doesn't have the time, the staff, or the money to police it.
That makes sense.
You know, and people really want transparency.
Yeah.
But most commercial companies fight transparency because they claim trade secret.
Right.
They don't want everybody to know what's in their products.
Right.
Okay?
That's a bummer.
Yeah. So, but we're completely transparent. We put every ingredient on our label. We're open for questions at any time. People can email us through the website. We're here to show you what we have, and we believe it'll make a difference in your skin.
Sounds like it. And what is the website, by the way, for everybody listening?
It's www.honeysweetieacres.com.
So cool. I can't wait. Oh, I'm looking forward to our future connection. Virginia, this was an absolute pleasure today. Thank you so much. I feel so educated after this.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'll report back with my findings on this skincare after this, too. That's
Okay,
really cool.
sounds good.
That's awesome. Well, thanks again for coming on, too. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Well, thank you all again for being on the show. Hopefully I'll be well enough to try to coerce someone into taking me to the GOAT Championships. I still can't believe that's a thing. It's so much fun. Really looking forward to that. So thank you so much. Thank you for coming on. I'm looking forward to trying all the products too. I was hooked, honestly, from this episode. I'm sure a lot of you watching it are as well. But yeah, great episode, right? Thanks for tuning in. I've got some more fun stuff coming up on the way. I'm going to still be cranking out content, even if I got to do a lot of it at home. So if you might see some, we'll do some reviews from the recliner, all kinds of things like that. In the meantime, you can try to name my new co-host over here. I keep wanting to call him Flavio, but I think I've just been playing too much Paper Mario. But go ahead and leave me a comment. Tell me what you think he would be named. And in the meantime, well, normally I'd say you could see me in the aisles, but I don't think you could see me in the aisles at all. In the meantime, you can find me in my now living room / bedroom / occasional bathroom. Oh, it's like that. All right, next time. Bye, everybody.
The Jungle Gyms podcast is recorded in the WJJI studio inside Jungle Gyms International Market in Fairfield, Ohio. The Jungle Gyms podcast is produced and hosted by Mark Borison.